Okay, guys, here we are. Carlos Alcaraz versus Denis Shapovalov. Alcaraz to start us off here on serve, and he'll be looking, of course, to book his place in the fourth round to face Lorenzo Musetti. Second serve into the forehand of Alcaraz. Backhand down the line from Shapovalov, the left-hander, of course, from Canada. Backhand is in from Alcaraz, but the forehand cross from Shapovalov is out. Straight away, 15 love. Let me know in the comments as well how you think this one is getting on. Serve out wide. Forehand is in from Shapovalov down the middle, then goes into out with the forehand. Forehand cross from Alcaraz. Into out from Shapovalov. Forehand cross from Alcaraz is in. Slice from Shapovalov. Alcaraz comes in. Beautiful drop volley. Oh. Beautiful drop volley from Alcaraz. Max's Havers on everyone. Hey Max, how you doing? We've also got at the Stefanos and Diogo match. Yeah, Anthony's taking you guys through that one. So if you're interested in the Tsitsipas and Schwartzman match, then go and check out Anthony on that stream on this channel, of course. We're streaming two matches at the same time. Good serve out wide from Alcaraz. A lob backhand from Shapovalov goes long. So great start from the Spaniard here, and the world number one, 40 love in his green Nike shirt with a white white upside down triangle panel, and it's an interesting kit. Don't know if I like it or not, to be honest with you. Very stripy kit, very green and white striped. Good serve down the tee, backhand down the middle from Shapovalov. Backhand cross is missed from the lefty, and of course Shapovalov with that one-handed backhand. He's a left-hander. It has a lot of power. We're going to see a lot of winners today. It's just inevitable. The Maltese says, Fazan, everyone, hey, Maltese, how you doing? Yeah, I mean, look, it's going to be inevitable that we're going to see winners after winner after winner. Despite it being a slow clay court, Shapovalov goes big off both wings, forehand and backhand. Alcaraz the same as well. We will see some touch and feel, of course, from the Spaniard with the drop shot, and we'll see Shapovalov try that as well. He'll probably try and come forward at times. Being a left-hander, though, he'll try and really ripped the forehand cross court into the Alcaraz backhand, where he has had issues in the past, although not so much recently, with defending that backhand side. And for Alcaraz, of course, he'll be looking to go down the line a lot with the forehand and backhand down the line as well into the Shapovalov backhand serve into the body of Alcaraz. Good backhand return deep into play. Backhand to backhand. Forehand cross from Shapovalov. Backhand on the line from the Canadian. Massive backhand from Alcaraz. Slice from Shapovalov on the forehand side goes long. And that's another tactic that, of course, a lot of people use against lefties, including Rafa Nadal, is the in-to-out forehand. Hitting it a bit flatter, technically cross-court, but into-out, and trying to get the left-hander to hit a forehand very low and on the stretch on that side, and it tends to be very awkward for them. We've seen Rafa struggle in the past with it. Good serve out wide from Shapovalov, gets a short ball from Alcaraz. Beautiful forehand put away behind the Spaniard, 15 all. And it's something that you have to be very tactical about when you use, because if you go into out too early and you don't hit your spot, then normally the lefty, in this case Shapovalov, will then be able to attack. So yeah, and attack and hurt you. Forehand cross from Alcaraz down the line goes Alcaraz, then goes backhand down the line, comes to the net, other net. Beautiful volley. Shapovalov doesn't pass him. Great reaction volley from Alcaraz. I'll be back in a second. Okay, we are back. So 30-40 early breakpoint opportunity here for Alcaraz. Massive point incoming. We'll get to the comments as well. Keep the comments coming. Like it as always. Serve into the backhand of Alcaraz. Then goes cross court into the backhand of the Spaniard again. Backhand is good and deep from Alcaraz. Good angle found. Good forehand though from Shapovalov. Backhand down the line from Alcaraz. Tries to find the Canadian's backhand, but he doesn't. He runs around it onto the forehand side of Shapovalov. Then goes forehand cross, trying to find the Alcaraz backhand, but he goes into it with a forehand. He misses it though, and he looks at the surface Alcaraz as if to say, "Did I get dodgy bounce?" Either way, it's a break point that goes begging. So we are at juice. Hi, Maltese, how are you doing? Were night designers blindfolded when making these kits and missed the spot? It's obviously part of the fashion. A bit off topic, I learned to play in the saxophone. Oh, very nice. Do you think Shapovalov can take a set off Carlos? Yeah, definitely. I think he definitely can take a set off him. Could he take two? Could he win? I don't know. Probably unlikely on the clay, but we'll see. He played well against Nadal last year, of course, beat him in Rome. Backhand cross from Alcaraz is a winner. Beautiful from the Spaniard. Shapovalov trying to hammer the Spaniard's backhand, but the forehand cross was too short. Shapovalov needs to do better there. Alcaraz steps in and hits a clean winner. So it's advantage Alcaraz, another breakpoint opportunity here. Serve down the tee is massive from Shapovalov, 210 Ks from the ad side. And Alcaraz does get a racket on it, but can barely make any contact. And this unreturnable serve, juice, and a really, really big serve when he needed it the most. Max says there must have been players before Genie Bouchard in Canada that must have been successful, but it seems like Genie at her peak opened doors and had a resurgence for Canadian tennis. Milos Raonic, to be fair. Serve into the body of Alcaraz. Good forehand cross from Alcaraz. Then goes backhand cross. Forehand from Shapovalov into the backhand of Alcaraz. Backhand cross from Shapo. Forehand cross from Alcaraz. The slice from Shapovalov clips the tram line down the line. Forehand of Shapovalov into the slice of Alcaraz down the middle. Then goes backhand cross. Forehand down the line from Shapovalov, the winner. Oh, it's a beautifully struck forehand. And the shape on it is key, I think, for that shot, because sometimes he's prone to hitting it way too flat or over hitting. There you can just see he's got natural power, he's got natural timing. And when he's patient like that, it can be deadly. And you can see the amount of revs he's put on the ball topspin, and also the coverage he's got over there. The height is so key. And on this surface, just gives you so much bang for your buck. Multi says, I liked Bouchard up until she said that. So she said that thing about Sharapova and refused to shake hands at the Fed Cup. Oh dear. Drop shot from Shapovalov is not good enough. Good serve out wide on the ad side. Alcaraz gives him maybe not the best return. And Shapovalov tries to take advantage. The drop shot, though, wasn't good enough. Alcaraz got there with plenty of time to spare. Puts away the forehand down the line for a winner. And there's an apology. I think the backhand return, a slight shank from Alcaraz. Max says, oh, yeah, Milos Raonic, I kind of forgot about him. Yeah. Here we go. Juice again. This is turning out to be a very, very hard fought game. Good serve out wide into and forehand. Smash opportunity for Shapovalov. Alcaraz somehow gets there. How has he got that? Then a second smash. He's missed it. Oh, you could tell he shanked it. You could tell by the way that he shanked it. And Alcaraz is that player. He is that player that makes you play 1, 2, maybe even 3 more shots than you're expecting. He gets that first smash. It was a great get. And it just means that Shapovalov has to hit a second one and he misses it. And it wasn't even the smash. It was the first shot that he got back. He was on the stretch on the backhand side as a forehand cross. He then gets the smash back on the stretch going all the way across to the other side of the court. And he makes him play another attacking stroke and he makes the mistake. Good serve out wide. Backhand is too short from Alcaraz. Good forehand on the line from Shapovalov. And he goes down the line with the forehand. Alcaraz tries to pass him cross court. It's a beautiful, beautiful volley in the end from Shapovalov, actually, on the stretch. And Alcaraz actually tried to pass him down the line. And Shapo gets there. on the stretch, goes deep into the backhand corner. Alcaraz can't make it, so we are back to juice. Another break point saved. This is a really, really big game, you feel, in the context of this match and all this set anyway, because it's getting to pretty spicy level here. Good serve from Chapo, comes to the net. Not good enough. The return from Alcaraz was pretty short down the middle. Chapo says, okay, I'm gonna attack it. I'm gonna attack it on the forehand side, going to Alcaraz's backhand. He goes big into the backhand, but it's not quite enough. Alcaraz with a really good pass cross court, and Shapovalov can't handle the volley and doesn't get anywhere near getting over the net. So it's breakpoint opportunity number 4 for Carlos Alcaraz early in this first set. Good serve out wide from Shapovalov, comes to serve volley, and yes, he gets to break Alcaraz. It's a good return. He goes down the line with a backhand return. I think he knew Shapovalov might come to serve on volley, and he does. And he's in no man's land in the end. It's an awkward half volley, and he goes into the net with it. So it is a break early here for Alcaraz. He'll be disappointed, Shapovalov, because he had multiple game points, couldn't convert, wasn't clinical, and Alcaraz gets the early break here in this third round match. You can see a lot of power on display, of course, as I said, and that's definitely been the case so far. The question is, can Shapovalov really push Alcaraz? We'll see. Good backhand return down the line from the Canadian after a wide serve, then goes loopy down the middle with the backhand. Forehand from Shapovalov into an backhand cross from Alcaraz, then goes drop shot into the net. That was actually very good from Alcaraz up until the drop shot. The point construction good. Chapo took a gamble, going really committing to the into and forehand. He was way into the backhand corner. Alcaraz goes backhand cross, gets Chapo on the stretch. The forehand, though, from the Canadian, to be fair, is pretty good. And Alcaraz goes drop shot. Probably not the right option. Good serve out wide, then steps in, goes slice. Alcaraz down the line, approaches the net, backhand from Chapo, finds the net, trying to pass him line. Max says, I wonder if the UK has a poutine restaurant. I don't know, actually. I haven't. I had poutine when I went to Canada. It was okay. I mean, it's kind of like chips and gravy, which is very common here in the northern part of the UK. Chips and gravy, you get it in like chip shops or fish and chip shops. It's pretty common. But that's pretty much what it is, I think, poutine, to be fair. Anyway, backhand cross from Alcaraz, forehand down the line from Chapo's way too big. And Carlitos will be happy about that because the errors are starting to slowly just shift or sift even through. 30-15. Max says you went to Canada. That's nice. Yeah, I did, yeah. Yeah. Second serve, kick serve into the backhand of Shapovalov, slice from Alcaraz. Forehand is a miss into the net from the Canadian. It was a defensive slice from Alcaraz. He was in an awkward position. And he ends up just lobbing it deep into court. And Chapo already 6 unforced errors. And we're into game 3. Max, is you're possibly in a guest appearance in Schitt's Creek, a Canadian TV show. No, I wasn't. Although I watched it with my wife. We finished it. It's a really good show, actually. We watched it after it come out. She'd already watched it. Good serve from Alcaraz, but the backhand cross from Chapo on return is beautifully struck. Alcaraz tried to sneak into the net, and he has to hit a really awkward volley all the way, fully stretched. And he doesn't manage to make the volley. It would have been an incredible volley if he had. 40-30. Game point still for Alcaraz. Good serve out wide. Great return down the line, though, from Shapovalov. He's got a chance in this rally. It's a very short backhand, though, into out forehand from Alcaraz as he approaches the net. Doesn't need to hit the volley. Shapovalov goes wild with the forehand down the line. He misses it. He does hold, and he does consolidate the break, Alcaraz. He is 3-love up in this third round. Okay. Max says, yeah, I recommend it. It's a really good show, actually. Really enjoyed it. It's quite funny as well. Okay, what's going on in the Tsitsipas match? Because let's see, Tsitsipas is 2 sets to love up. Mm, okay. Good serve. Down the tee from Shapo comes forward. Oh, what a miss. It's a lobbed return from Alcaraz, and Shapo waits for it to come at kind of waist high. He takes it, tries to pluck it out the air on the forehand, takes a forehand drive volley. He has missed that by a long way. I mean, that is crazy. Serve out wide is a let. Max is to be in London right now. Must be nice. If you saw my message earlier, yeah, I'm not. I mean, if I'm being honest with you, it might sound very controversial. I don't see what the massive hype is about Beyonce. She's a good singer, but there's lots of good singers to be fair. But I know people absolutely love her and adore her. But yeah, I'm not really a concert type person. I'm sure you are, Max, given you love your music. Second serve into the backhand of Alcaraz. It's a drop shot from Shapovalov. It's not good at all. Reverse drop shot from Alcaraz, and that is good enough. Shapo can't get there. If Shapovalov is going to play that drop shot, it has to be good enough. It really does. Into it, forehand from Shapo comes forward, goes dink, and he gets passed again. In and around the net, Alcaraz is bullying Shapovalov right now. It's like a man versus boy situation. Even though Shapovalov is older, he's just not being able to handle Alcaraz right now in and around the net. And he's getting dictated to big time here. He's not able to have it his own way. And it's love 40. It's a chance to get the double break here. Served on the tee. Forehand is in from Alcaraz. It's a shank from Shapo. He is all over the place in that service game. He's gifted that break of serve to Alcaraz. I tell you what, there could be a bagel on here. There could be a bagel on here. It's 4-love Alcaraz. 4-love Alcaraz and bagel incoming, I reckon. I reckon a bagel could definitely be incoming unless Shapovalov goes really big, I mean, in the next service game and makes a lot of first serves, then yeah. Serve out wide into the backhand of Chapeau. Backhand cross from Alcaraz goes wide for the +1 shot. It was a backhand down the middle from Shapovalov. Not really too much on it. It's a regulation return. Alcaraz misses a regulation backhand in the end. Love 15. Haven't seen many of those misses today so far from Alcaraz, which of course is a positive thing if you're an Alcaraz fan or if you're Spaniard and watching a countryman, of course. Good serve out wide into the forehand of Shapovalov from the outside. Slice down the middle from Chapo. Forehand into out from Alcaraz. Then goes backhand down the middle. Backhand from Chapo down the middle. Forehand down the line from Alcaraz. Has Chapo on the stretch who goes forehand cross wide. 15 all. Amelie Mauresmo in the crowd, of course. They are playing on Philippe Chatrier, the main court at Roland Garros, and Tsitsipas is playing Schwartzman on our other stream right now going on, and he is 2 sets to love up against the Argentine. Serve into the body of Chapo, goes forehand into the net. Actually did well to move around, give himself room on the forehand, just leaning back a little bit. Looks a bit awkward. Struggling to find any real rhythm here, Chapo, and that has really been the story of the last 6 to 9 months, in all honesty. Just a struggle to find a lot of rhythm. Serve into the body of Chapo. Backhand cross. Backhand to backhand here. Then goes down the line, Alcaraz into the net. Yeah, Max says, I know my music. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Max, with your sentiments on that. There's a fist bump from Chapo. He thinks he's got a chance of a break here. Maybe a mistake from Alcaraz into the net gives him 30-all in the return game. He's looking to get the break back here, or a break back, because he's 2 breaks down here. Massive hitting from Alcaraz, though. The +1 shots a forehand. That is an absolute rocket into the backhand of Chapo on the stretch. He's not able to get that anywhere near back into court. And he was approaching the net as well. The intent is there. The aggression is there from Alcaraz. And Chapo is struggling at the moment. Serve out wide. Forehand is good from Chapo. And it's very good on return. Alcaraz goes for the serve volley. And his volley loops into the net. So juice. And there's a come on from Shapovalov. Max, I don't ever want to be in a position of worshipping tennis players as well. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, yeah. No one wants to be in that position, do they? Let's see as well. I need to check the percentage of people that have been voting for. Well, good serve out wide from Alcaraz. Backhand cross. Forehand cross from Chapo's wide. And he hangs his head in shame, really. He's just disappointed with himself, and I can imagine why. It's really not going his own way so far. He's struggling to get a real foothold in this match. 76% of you have gone for Alcaraz. Okay, so that's good. So 24% of you have gone for Shapovalov. The people that have gone for Shapovalov, I'm not definitely respect your opinion. I'm just interested to know what your thinking is behind it. Are you Canadian? You just want him to win, or do you have a real belief that he can? Forehand of Shapovalov into the backhand of Alcaraz as they rally cross court, and Alcaraz makes the mistake, ends up ballooning the backhand down the line wide. So it is back to juice. Max says, I would have to talk to a therapist. Yeah. Carlos takes the cake with the first set. He wants a bagel. He does. Let's see if he can get it, though. Let's see if he can get it. So that wide is in. The backhand from Chapo is pretty good. Drop shot from Alcaraz is very good. Those are. Oh, Chapo gets there, but dinks it into there. That's a very valiant effort, I have to say, because the serve out wide was good. Chapo tried to avoid going cross court with the backhand because he knew it would leave him really vulnerable down the line to the forehand. And Alcaraz didn't get that. Instead, he goes drop shot. Chapo does get there, but it's a very tough ask to make it over the net. So advantage Alcaraz goes out wide again. Forehand was in from Chapo. Probably would have been a winner, actually. But the call is out. So second serve coming up. Second serve into the backhand of Chapo down the middle. Then Alcaraz goes into with the forehand. Backhand is shanked from Shapovalov wide. And there's a fist bump from Alcaraz. It is 5-love. Max's ego most likely gave advice to Carlos on how to get bagels in a match. Maybe. Well, he's one game away from a potential bagel here. 5-love up, Carlos Alcaraz, and it's looking pretty good for the Spaniard. I have to say, to be fair, he's not played an incredibly high level. He's played very solid so far, I have to say, Alcaraz. But, yeah. Justani says, won't get a whiff today. Take I'm out quick. Hey? What do you mean? Take I'm out quick. What does that mean, Justini? Max, I also thought about asking a question, who has the most potential, Igor or Carlos, but that's a whole nother story. It's difficult to say because they're obviously one is in the women's game in the WTA, one's in the men's tour on the ATP. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, Iga's already won 3 Grand Slams. She's what, a year? Well, she's 2 years ahead of Alcaraz technically. Well, actually, no, she's a year now. Alcaraz has turned 20, so we'll see. Because can Alcaraz keep up with Swiatek's Grand Slam winning streak? I mean, if you were to win Roland Garros, that'd be a good start, wouldn't it? Well, definitely would be a good second slam to win, anyways. Justin says won't get a whiff today. Take him out quick. He's definitely looking to do so. Shapovalov serving to stay in the set and not get bageled. Slice down the middle. Forehand is down the line from Shapo. He comes to the net. Alcaraz passes him down the line. What a forehand cross court from Alcaraz. Whips it cross court. I mean, it's just too good. It's just way too good. Oh, beautiful shape on it. I mean, I think Shapo almost lets it go, to be honest, because he thinks it's going out, but it's got so much topspin on it, it drops in. Love 15. Serve down the tee was big from Shapo, but the call is out. Second serve here, big opportunity for Alcaraz to get love 30. Second serve into the backhand. Backhand cross from Alcaraz has Shapo on the stretch. Good forehand cross, though. Then goes down the line with the backhand. Drop volley from Alcaraz is way too good. And in fact, it wasn't even down the line with the backhand. He goes down the middle with the backhand, Alcaraz, for the approach. But it's got enough depth on it. Shapo tries to pass him down the line. The backhand drop volley from Alcaraz is sublime. And Shapo can't get there. Beautiful net play. The passing shot from Shapo could have been a lot better. Justani says we're looking at an Andrescu comeback. Come on, Andrea. She is only a kid and we are saying come back. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, hopefully she does. Yeah. Max says I should have asked that question of the same gender. Dang it. You can ask another question. It's fine. Ask as many questions as you want. Second serve. Into the forehand of Alcaraz, who goes down the middle. Forehand down the line from Shapo. Forehand cross from Alcaraz. Forehand into win from Shapo. Comes to the net. Easy volley, is it? Well, Alcaraz made it look tough because Shapo does power the volley into the forehand corner. Alcaraz somehow gets a racket on it. He can't get over the net, though. Even Alcaraz has his limits when it comes to his defensive abilities. And it is 5-love here, but he's 15-30. So Shapo's desperately trying to avoid the embarrassment of a bagel in this first set. And he can only wonder what kind of trend that's going to set for the rest of the match if he does get bageled. Serve down the tee. And the call is out. Second serve coming up. Guys, remember to hit that like button, please, and do subscribe if you're new. Appreciate it. Second serve. Forehand down the middle from Alcaraz. Backhand is deflected wide from Shapovalov. The return from Alcaraz so deep, right at the feet of Shapovalov. And Shapo awkwardly hits the backhand wide. Has to hit it on the half volley. Less than half an hour gone. This is almost Iga territory. He's got 2 set points to bagel Shapovalov in this first set. And this has been clinical from Alcaraz. For Shapovalov, unfortunately, we've seen this too many times from him. The inconsistency in his game. It'll be interesting to see actually the stats after this set. How many errors has he made? Second serve is a good one. Backhand into the backhand corner of Shapo. Makes it a forehand, though. Goes into out. Then beautiful volley. We need to see more of that. Really good from Shapovalov. The into-out forehand was beautifully executed. Alcaraz on the stretch has to hit a defensive forehand. Shapo comes to the net, puts away the volley. Really well constructed point from the Canadian and behind the second serve nonetheless as well. So 30-41, set and break point saved. Alcaraz does have another, though. Serve out wide. Backhand is in from Alcaraz. Then goes forehand long, though. Oh, gets a forehand opportunity. I mean, he wasn't really rushed. He rushed it himself. And he shanks it. So 2 break points saved. We're at juice. Max says for the WTA, Iga and Elena Rybakina have the most potential. I'd say Iga's younger and she's got more slams than both. So I think you have to say Iga. She's got 3 slams. Sabalenka and Rybakina have both got 1 apiece. And what, they're 23 and 24, I think, or Sabalenka might be 25 even. Iga's 21. So I think, she's got the most potential for sure. Good second serve into our forehand from Shapo, then goes into in. Backhand cross from Alcaraz. Forehand cross from Shapo into in. Goes Alcaraz. He's missed the forehand. Advantage Shapovalov. He's got game point, a chance to get on the board here in this first set. I would also say for Swiatek as well, her net game could be improved a lot. And she is trying to improve it. She's trying to come to the net more, and it's still not particularly great. But Sabalenka and Rebecca, I feel like their game is more mature, if that makes sense. Oh, and there's a sigh of relief from Shapovalov. Serve out wide from Shapo. He comes to serve volley, beautiful drop volley, shakes his head and smiles. I mean, I don't know. I don't know whether he's thinking Alcaraz is playing that well or he's not playing particularly well. But either way, a sigh of relief as he does hold. He doesn't get bageled in this opening set. I think that's quite important in the scheme of this match, in all honesty, because he gets bageled. I think it's a nailed on straight set victory. Max says, makes sense. Iga has an upper advantage of winning 2 more slams with Arena and Alina. Again, the age factor as well. And also, I do feel like her game, she can add more things to her game. I feel like the others already have a combination of ways to play, or I feel like Iga, she's got a very high ceiling and there's a lot of growth that can happen. She's just so good at what she does currently. Right, Alcaraz serving to take this set at 5-1. Into in forehand from Alcaraz. Backhand down the middle from Shapo. Short drop shot from Alcaraz. Shapo does get there, slice it down the line. Alcaraz goes backhand cross, passes him easily. And Shapovalov was a sitting duck at the net there. That slice just sat up beautifully. Alcaraz had so much time to pick his spot. And that's really been the story of this set so far and this match so far, is Alcaraz dominating the exchanges from the back of the court. Alcaraz goes out wide. Forehand cross from Shapo. Forehand down the middle from Alcaraz. Backhand cross from Shapo. Forehand into the net from Alcaraz. 15 all. Interesting. $15 all here. Let's see. Shapovalov's trying to push. He's trying to push here. Served on the tee. Forehand is in from Shapo down the middle. Backhand cross from Alcaraz. Forehand cross from Shapo goes into the net. 30-15. Too many mistakes from the Canadian, and it just means he makes his life that much harder. Trying to get into this match. Trying to make it competitive. Alcaraz 30-15. Serve down the tee is in. Well, I thought it was in, but the call is out. 215 Ks as well. So big serving here from Alcaraz. Big kick serve coming up, you imagine. Yep, into the backhand. Oh, actually, I tell you what. That was into the body, and it did some. That swerved like crazy after hitting the surface. I mean, it looked like it swerved and did some crazy business there. It's a very difficult return for Shapovalov. 40-15, and he's got 2 set points here, Alcaraz. So out wide, backhand is wide from Shapovalov, so an easy hold in the end for Alcaraz. He doesn't bagel in, but he does get the breadstick, and there's a racket shake from Alcaraz, and it's very businesslike from the Spaniard. Can the powerhouse of the Canadian, Denis Shapovalov, make the next set or even 2 competitive? We'll find out. Max says, I wanted Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova to win the French Open final versus Barbara Krejcikova, but congrats to Barbara. Oh, fair enough. Right, let's go through the stats then for the set. You can see here, no aces for each. 1 double fault for Shapovalov, none for Alcaraz. This is where it gets quite interesting. First serves made. I mean, Alcaraz, I was saying that, he wasn't playing at an incredibly high level, but what he was doing is making a lot of first serves. 88% of first serve points or first serves in even. 65% of first serves in for Shapovalov. 68% of first serve points won for Alcaraz. Or 70%, sorry, even of first serve points won for Alcaraz. 35% only for Shapovalov. I mean, that's so poor behind his first serve. Only 6 out of 17 points won. Needs to improve that. Second serve points won, 100% for Alcaraz, 56% for Shapovalov, and Alcaraz only had to serve 3 second serves anyway. Breakpoint save 5 out of 7, and Alcaraz didn't have to face a single one. Winners to unforced errors 8-7 for Alcaraz, so slightly more winners to unforced errors, so solid for Shapovalov. 5 winners to 10 unforced errors, so double the amount of winners to unforced errors, and that's double the amount of unforced errors to winners, which is not ideal. Not ideal on a clay court. You're not expecting to hit a huge amount of winners, but you still want to be at least a 1-to-1, right? So one winner for every unforced error. So you want to be at that ratio, and if you're not near that, it normally means you're playing way too erratically, and I think that's probably the right word for Shapovalov. Because Serdanity, though, from the Canadian, gets a short return, puts it away. Much better from him. Needs more of that. Needs more first serves. And he gets the short return he wanted. And it's good composure to go forehand down the line. Easy winner, 15-love. Let's get back onto the score. There you go. Serve into net from Shapovalov. Second serve coming up. Second serve is a good one into the backhand. Backhand down the line from Alcaraz. And Shapovalov goes behind Alcaraz into the backhand corner. It's another winner. Good start from the Canadian, who's come out rejuvenated by the looks of it. It's a great forehand behind Alcaraz. Definitely wrong-footed him. 30-love. Serve out wide. Forehand is in from Alcaraz. Forehand is long from Shapo. 30-15. That one was wild. Kuchikova lost in the first round in singles and doubles. That's unfortunate, says Max. Yeah, normally she's flying high, especially in the doubles. Of course, she's a former champion here, but her form has been pretty off for the last few months. Serve into the backhand of Alcaraz. Backhand finds the net. The Spaniard disappointed to miss that return. Alcaraz might have to fight in this set if Shapovalov nudges in front, of course. Serve down the tee. Looked like an ace, but the call is out. It's an advantage serving first for Shapovalov if he's going to hold that is his first service game. It always means Alcaraz will be chasing him. Forehand cross from Shapo. Backhand cross from Alcaraz. Down the line goes Shapo. Forehand cross from Alcaraz. Backhand into the net, though, from Shapovalov. Very, very... didn't look particularly nice, that backhand, to say the least. So 40-30 still has the game point. Serve is out wide. Backhand is in from Alcaraz. Good depth. Forehand cross from Shapovalov. Looked like it might drop in, but it is wide. And looking in his box, or saying it's out. So it is juice. He looks disappointed as the chair umpire goes down to have a look at it. Still unsure why they don't have the technology in place, but that one was clearly out, as the technology shows. Anyway, serve is long from Shapovalov. Second serve coming up. Second serve into the backhand of Alcaraz, who goes into in. Forehand cross from Shapovalov. Great angle found. Backhand from Alcaraz is not good enough. Shapovalov comes forward, as he should do, to the net. And beautiful volley executed from the Canadian. Alcaraz can't get back in time to make it. Advantage Shapovalov. And one thing that's really good to see from both players is the willingness to come forward into the net, even on a slow clay court. On a slow clay court, everyone says, don't come forward, don't serve volley, don't come to the net. You end up struggling, it'll give you a disadvantage. No, if you've got a good enough game and you're good enough in and around the net and transition well enough, it can be a real advantage. As Shapovalov clips top of the net court with a forehand and goes long, which means we're back to juice. Chapo with his his backward white cap on, loves wearing his baseball cap backwards. Very Leighton Hewitt-esque. Serve long from Chapo. Second serve coming up. Alcaraz doesn't need to hit the return, does he? No, okay, he does. I thought that second serve was out. The call was in. Backhand down the middle from Alcaraz. Shapovalov tries to go into out with the forehand. He's missed it. I think he thought it was out as well, I reckon. He misses a pretty easy forehand. Tries to go for too much. Game duration is 5 minutes. And he started off really well in this service game. Had multiple game points. And actually, it's pretty reminiscent of his first service game in the first set. But then he got broken and it went downhill from there. So, breakpoint opportunity. Alcaraz gets to that somehow. I mean, that's ridiculous from Alcaraz. But Shapovalov has the composure. Good serve out wide. Volley isn't put away. Alcaraz somehow gets to it and makes Shapovalov smash. He puts away the smash, though. So we are back to juice. And breakpoint saved. Alcaraz, you can see, watching the replay, he looks absolutely rapid in terms of his speed across the court, going laterally side to side. I mean, something special to witness, that's for sure. We are at juice. Second serve into the backhand of Alcaraz. Does a good second serve. Takes on the drive volley, does Shapovalov. He doesn't get passed down the line. He puts away the volley on the stretch. That's really well played. I have to say the second serve was brave. Went big down the tee from the juice side. Gets the backhand he wanted from Alcaraz. And takes it on the rise. Takes it and plucks it out the air on the into-out forehand. And I have to say he's executed that drive volley beautifully. Alcaraz on the stretch goes forehand on the line, tries to pass Chapo at the net. And on the stretch on the forehand volley, puts it away in pretty impressive fashion. So he does have a game point. Second serve coming up. Second serve into the backhand of Alcaraz. Backhand crosses in. It's a drop shot. Surely Alcaraz is going to get there. Yes, he does. Oh, what a point. He does get there. Shapovalov instinctive volley as well. Alcaraz actually gets a rack on it somehow. But can't get it back into play. Does hold. It's a crucial hold, you feel. There is a fist bump or fist shake even from Shapovalov. He knows that was important. And you can see there's a packed Philippe Chatrier crowd. That's definitely to be expected. Yeah, very good. Okay, so Love won Alcaraz here, serving in the second set behind, which is definitely a disadvantage. Question is, how does he handle it? First serve goes long, second serve coming up. Shapovalov has to be aggressive on the second serve returns, you feel. And if he can get inroads on Alcaraz's serve, he's not invincible behind his serve, Alcaraz, especially on clay. We know how many opportunities and how much of an advantage good returning is on this surface. Backhand is in down the middle from Shapovalov into that forehand from Alcaraz, and Shapovalov gets very fortunate with the forehand slice, clips the top of the net cord, just dribbles over. And I have to say, that was impressive. Impressive defensive work from Shapovalov, but a bit of fortune nonetheless. Love 15. Alcaraz goes out wide to the forehand of Shapovalov. Good forehand into and forehand from Alcaraz. Backhand cross from Shapo's deep into court. Then goes forehand down the middle. Backhand down the middle from Alcaraz. Forehand cross from Shapo. Into and goes Alcaraz to the forehand. Backhand on the line from Shapovalov. And it is a drop shot, which is very, very ambitious from Alcaraz. That doesn't make its way into court. Gerafine says, "Hi Fazan. Hey, how you doing, my man? How are we doing?" Love 30. Shapovalov trying to make things happen here. Trying to make things happen. Serve out wide is in from Alcaraz. Backhand was missed from Shapo, but doesn't matter because the serve was out. MJ, how you doing? Second serve into the backhand of Shapo, goes down the middle. Backhand cross. Forehand cross from Shapo, drags Alcaraz out. Backhand down the middle from the Spaniard, but the backhand from Shapo is beautifully executed cross court. Wow. It's a clean winner. And he's got 3 breakpoint opportunities here. I said serving second in this set could be problematic for Alcaraz. He had breakpoints in that opening return game. Shapovalov managed to dig his heels in and hold. Now he has 3 breakpoint opportunities here. Andrew says on hold with IRS 1 minute 29 and counting. Oh dear. They're gonna be on hold for a while, I imagine. Alcaraz having to save 3 breakpoints here. Serve is long from Alcaraz. Second serve coming up. Oh, forehand from Shapovalov. Clips top of the net cord, drifts onto his side. So he doesn't get the rub of the green with that net cord this time. Alcaraz saves 1 break point. 15-40. Shapovalov has 2 more opportunities though. Serve down the tee from Alcaraz is long. Second serve coming up. Shapo just blowing on his hands, making sure nice and dry. Second serve. Backhand is in from Shapo down the middle. Forehand is short from Alcaraz. Very tight. Backhand cross from Alcaraz. Forehand cross from Shapo drags him out. Backhand cross again from Alcaraz. Forehand miss from Shapovalov into the net. The disappointment on his face. I do not blame him. I would be disappointed too. The first one is unlucky. It's a net cord, drops onto his side. Could have easily dropped onto Alcaraz's, and he gets a lucky break. Literally. This one is a unforced error on the forehand. He's going forehand into Alcaraz's backhand, which is where he wants to be. Doesn't manage to execute. You can see Alcaraz so far out in his serve position here. Clearly going to go kick serve out wide, you think, but he doesn't. He goes down the tee. And he fools me, and it's a beautiful forehand from Alcaraz with a +1 shot to winner. Massive from the Spaniard. That is huge. That's really clever. Alcaraz adjusts his serve position so it looks like he's going to hit a kick serve out wide. Instead, he goes big down the tee, executes it beautifully, gets a loopy return from Shapovalov into the forehand corner, and absolutely crushes the forehand cross court. Serve down the tee from Alcaraz, then goes forehand down the line for the +1 shot. It is advantage Alcaraz. And Shapovalov had 3 breakpoint opportunities at love 40, or 40 love up in the return game instead. It's now advantage and game point Alcaraz. Lexi says, where is Shapo, lol? Shapo is my nickname. Everyone calls Shapovalov Shapo. It's such a long name. No? Just me? Serve is out from Alcaraz. Second serve coming up. Lexi with a new profile picture, it looks like. Second serve into the body of Shapovalov. Forehand cross, backhand cross from Alcaraz. Forehand from Shapo, into out goes Alcaraz. He's missed it. Got impatient, did the Spaniard. In that exchange, Shapovalov's forehand into the backhand of Alcaraz. He tries to run around it onto the forehand and he misses it. And misses it pretty by quite some margin. Juice. Serve out wide. Backhand is in from Shapovalov. Forehand in the middle from Alcaraz. Backhand on the line from Shapovalov. Backhand cross from Alcaraz. Backhand again cross court. Forehand from Shapovalov. Drags Alcaraz out. He goes drop shot Shapo down the line. Alcaraz gets there somehow. What a get. But Shapovalov also gets there. Oh, what a get from Shapo. And he tells the crowd, come on, get behind me. Alcaraz actually got there. He got there but just couldn't execute the shot. A ridiculous point. And he had to work really hard for that. Alcaraz is just so quick. But Shapovalov does really well there. And he has another breakpoint opportunity. He's pushing for the break of serve here, and he should do. It's a big opportunity. He was 40 love up. Couldn't convert. He's got to keep on pushing here. He knows this is a big opportunity in the scheme of this set and in this match. Telling the crowd to get back, well, to get behind him. I'm not sure whether they will. Breakpoint number 4 here for Shapovalov. Alcaraz adjusts his serve position. He's in a more orthodox position for this serve from the ad side. Serve down the tee again, though. It's a massive serve. He paints the line with that serve down the tee. And Shapovalov can't get it back into play. We're at juice. Juice. Serve out wide. Oh, just missed it. Just missed it, Alcaraz. Not by much. Oh, good serve. Backhand is in from Alcaraz. Is it? I thought it clipped the baseline. No, it hasn't. Okay, so advantage Shapovalov again. Mistake from Alcaraz. Okay. Here we go into the rally, but the call is out. Kick serve coming, you feel, from Alcaraz. Will he go safe into the forehand or will he go into the body? He goes into the body. Forehand down the middle from Shapo. Miss from Alcaraz on the forehand. He tries to go into in. And it falters. He finds the net. Shapovalov breaks. 2-love. Who expected that after the first set? 6-1 to Alcaraz. Breadsticked him. He had opportunities to bagel him as well. Shapovalov, though, came out pretty strong in the first few rallies of his service game. He had to save break points in the end, though. Held firm, and he then had 3 breakpoint opportunities at 40-love in the return game. Alcaraz came back, had game points of his own. Shapovalov in the end, though, gets the break. So 2-love here. Could easily be 2-love to Alcaraz. Shapovalov finds himself in front. Can he capitalize? Well, that's not a good start. It's a double fault to start off as he tries to consolidate the break. Love 15. MJ says Denis channeling his inner Ostapenko. Yeah, for sure. Actually, quite similar players. That's quite a good comparison, actually. That is pretty astute, actually, MJ. The only thing I would say is that Shapovalov's got a much bigger serve in terms of game style, but in terms of, yeah, the inconsistency and the level that they're able to play at, I think that's pretty accurate, to be honest. Right, second serve here. Is it another double? That is a massive double fault. I mean, that he's double faulted closer to the baseline than the service box there. His toss is all over the place. And it's funny, when I watched him live at Wimbledon in 2021 and for the quarterfinals against, it was, so he played against Khachanov. He ended up winning that, but his toss was all over the place. Now, they're pretty windy conditions, but it's pretty windy here at Roland Garros as well. And his toss was genuinely like all over the place, which is crazy for a pro player to see. And that first serve's got miles out as well. Second serve is in. It's a very tight one. Backhand down the middle from Alcaraz. Forehand cross. Forehand into out from Shapovalov. It's a defensive slice from Alcaraz. Drop shot from Shapo. Alcaraz is going to get a dinks it, but dinks it wide. He definitely let Shapovalov off the hook there. Very tentative from Alcaraz as well. 15-30. Could have easily been love 40. Alcaraz disappointed. He's talking to himself saying, think. Not happy with that bit of net play. Not surprised, to be honest. I was expecting him to make it. 15-30 here. So out wide is missed from Shapovalov. Second serve coming up. Second serve into the backhand is a double fault again. That's 3 double faults from Shapovalov in this game. He is somehow tightened up at the worst possible moment. Played really well for the first 2 games here. Fought really hard. 2 juice games. Came out on top in both. 2 love up. And now he's going to have to save 2 break points here because he's double faulted 3 times. Crazy. Serve is in. Oh, I thought that was in. That looked very close. Tries to go down the tee to the backhand of Alcaraz, but the call by the chair umpire is out. He goes and has a look as well. Says, yep, it's out. The second serve here. Alcaraz goes backhand down the middle. Forehand down the line from Shapovalov. Forehand into out. Forehand cross from Alcaraz. Shapo runs around it. Backhand cross from Alcaraz, great depth, then goes forehand into and comes to the net to volley. Volleys, puts it away. He gets the break back. He looks to his box and says, I told you, I'm the man. 2-1. We're still on serve, though, and he'll have to serve to level things up here. Shapovalov gifted that break back. I mean, that is so poor. And really what you've seen for the last 3 games from Shapovalov is the best of Shapovalov and the worst from Shapovalov. Incredible points and fight and winners. Point construction, big hitting, touch and feel at the net. And then the other side, double faults, errors, easy shots that aren't put away, aren't even made, and a lot of unforced errors. So it's a real mixed bag with him, and it seems like he's not being able to find any level of consistency really in his game for large periods of time in his career, and that has really been a story of his career, in all honesty, and it's playing out in this match. I'll be back in 2 seconds, guys. But yeah, it's been a pretty exciting match so far. There's been a lot of big hitting, a lot of winners. Great to see, of course, as always. But I have to say, Alcaraz has played pretty solid tennis. Don't get me wrong, but Shapovalov will be disappointed, to say the least, that he wasn't able to hold serve there, consolidate the break, and really try and push him here, because you feel like the momentum is, even though it's only 1 break back and it's still on serve, and Alcaraz has to do his job now on his serve, you do feel like the momentum has shifted, and those 3 double faults as well from Shapovalov. Keep an eye on his serve for the rest of this set. That's a bad miss from Alcaraz, though. Goes serve out wide. Backhand from Shapovalov. Tries to find the backhand of Alcaraz. He does, as he has to go cross court with the +1 shot. He misses it. Tries to go too close to the line. Love 15. Alcaraz starting to leak errors as well here. Serve from the outside goes into the forehand of Shapovalov out wide. Then backhand cross from Shapo. Forehand cross from Alcaraz. Backhand on the line from Shapovalov's missed. Both players trying to go so close to the lines. Errors seeping through. Patience isn't quite the forte of either player so far, really, in this second set. Serve down the tee is big, comes forward, Alcaraz goes drop volley. Oh, what a get from Shapovalov. He made it. Oh, he's missed it. It's a great effort. He gets there, dinks it down the line. He's just missed it. 30-15. And that's the thing, right? I actually like the serve volley. I do like how both players are coming forward. But because they're both coming forward and because they're both big hitters, we're seeing a very, very uncharacteristic clay court match at the moment. It's a slow clay court, and you normally expect long rallies. We're not getting those, but it's exciting, so I'm not complaining. It's just different. I'm not used to seeing points be this short. Into win from Alcaraz on the forehand after a good serve out wide, then goes smash. Chapo gets there though. The smash wasn't good enough from Alcaraz. Drop shot though from the Spaniard. Dink from Chapo is in. Lob from Alcaraz. Smash from Chapo. Alcaraz gets it. What a point! Oh, and Alcaraz can't put the forehand into play. He finds the net. Had a lot of time. What a point. 30 all. Great defensive work from Shapovalov. You have to say, turned that point around beautifully. He ends up getting that smash back from Alcaraz and gets back to neutral. The drop shot from Alcaraz was good actually as well, but the dink down the line was really deep into the corner, and his smash was a bit better struck than Alcaraz's. It was a bit easier as well, closer to the net. And he flipped the script there beautifully. Serve is long from Alcaraz. Second serve coming up. Second serve into the backhand of Chapo goes deep into the feet of Alcaraz. Forehand cross from Chapo. Forehand again. Backhand cross from Alcaraz. Clips top of the net cord. Stays on his side. 30-40. Breakpoint opportunity. Breakpoint opportunity for Shapovalov. He's getting a lot of opportunities on the Alcaraz serve in this second set. His returning has been better. Alcaraz has made more mistakes. And he finds himself with another chance to get ahead and get that break back that he gifted back to Alcaraz with 3 double faults. Good return into the backhand corner. Forehand on the line is a winner. What a shot from Shapovalov. Wowzers. Beautiful return on the backhand side. He goes into out into the backhand of Alcaraz. Alcaraz goes cross court. Chapo says, thank you very much. Beautiful forehand down the line. Clips the line on its way through. 3-1. So they trade 3 breaks of serve here. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. 3 breaks of serve. 3 breaks of serve in a row. And that's definitely more like a clay court match, isn't it? Good serve down the tee from Shapovalov. Forehand cross. Has Alcaraz on the run on the backhand side. Then goes backhand into the open court. Alcaraz gets it. A great get. Then a drop shot from Chapo. That's not going to be good enough. Alcaraz puts it away. Does he? No, because Chapo gets there. Wow. What a get. Anticipates it. How did he get that? And not only does he get there, he gets there and somehow hauls it back into the open court for a winner. 15 love. What a point. These two are really testing their physical abilities, pushing themselves to the limit. Alcaraz looks disappointed, as he should. That drop shot wasn't good enough. Alcaraz didn't make him pay, though. Good serve out wide from Shapovalov. Backhand miss from Alcaraz. Goes long. 30 love. Chapo, after getting broken back, gets the break now again, though. 3-1 up here. He's got his mojo back. No double faults. First serve's made. I mean, it's a real roller coaster watching him. Served on the tee. Backhand is in from Alcaraz. It's short, though. Forehand, I mean, that's a bad miss, though. This is what I mean. It's such a mixed bag. Backhand down the middle from Alcaraz is short. Shapovalov gets there. Hits the forehand. Tries to go down the line. It would be a clean winner. He's missed it. Goes long. 30-15. Both players have the ability to hit winners, serve big, good net play, good transitioning, great defensive abilities as well. Very athletic. Both players can also, though, leak errors, and we're seeing an exciting brand of tennis play out here. Backhand is a lob from Alcaraz down the middle, massive forehand down the line from Shapovalov, and Alcaraz just scampers to try and get it back into play. Goes long, 40-15. Massive hitting from the Canadian, and he's causing Alcaraz problems in this second set. A chance to go 4-1 up here in this second, 40-15, 3-1 here. 2 game points for Shapovalov. Can he find that all-important first serve? He does find it. Forehand is in there from Alcaraz. Backhand cross from Shapo. Forehand on the line from Alcaraz is massive. Forehand from Shapo. Slice into the net. Alcaraz not holding back there. It's a good return cross court. And the forehand on the line is huge. And it's too hot to handle for Shapovalov. Can't make it back into play. So 40-30 has another game point, though, to lean upon. Both players starting to strike the ball extremely cleanly, as you'd expect from these two power hitters. Second serve into the backhand of Alcaraz, but it's a let first serve. Sorry, let second serve even. Now the game point for Shapovalov. Second serve is in. Backhand cross from Alcaraz. What a forehand from Shapovalov. Wow, that is very, very good. The backhand from Alcaraz doesn't do a lot with the return, to be fair. It's down the middle of the court. Shapovalov takes it early, rips it with a lot of topspin, finds a beautiful short angle, and goes behind Alcaraz for a clean winner, 4-1. He does consolidate the break. Impressive. Oh, so we've got a real match on our hands here. We've got a real match on our hands. Justin says, I got a question. We cheer and I pay money to watch. Why can't I boo? Good question. I mean, you can boo. I don't think anyone says that they can't boo. It's just not seen as being very, I don't know, very sportsmanlike. Serve down the tee from Alcaraz. Forehand in the middle. Forehand into out from Shapovalov. Massive. Wow. He's really feeling it right now. Massive into out forehand. Love 15. Serve down the tee. Backhand down the middle is in. Forehand cross from Alcaraz. Backhand lob from Shapo. Forehand cross from Alcaraz. Backhand lob from Shapo again. Forehand into out from Alcaraz. Forehand down the line from Shapovalov. Tries to go for broke. He's missed it. 15 all. Just Denis says Australian Open, you get booted. So I think, yeah, I mean, Jane, Forehand on the line from Alcaraz is massive. What a winner. Good serve out wide. Backhand is in from Chapo. Massive forehand down the line from Alcaraz. 30-15. James says because you can't just pay money and have it be okay and have it be okay to be unkind to people. Yeah, I mean, look, I wouldn't boo myself. I just don't see any need for it. I feel like it's just, yeah, not a fan, but the French crowd are doing it loads, to be honest, and I'm pretty sure they're not getting booed. So anyone who's non-French against someone who's French, they're booing. Backhand is missed from Chapo, 40-15. Just says they remove boos in Australia. I think booing is part of the game. Making someone lose is unkind. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think just in tennis, there's been a culture of not booing, to be fair. So wide from Alcaraz, and the backhand from Chapo goes wide. So Alcaraz does hold 4-2. And this is in the US, the rowdy sports you can, but tennis is more civilized. Yeah, that's the thing. I agree. That's the thing, right? In tennis, I just think it's seen as like a taboo because it's seen as a very civil sport. But in other sports, they do it and it's pretty regular. I mean, I wouldn't do it myself. I don't see the point in booing, even if it's a player that I mean, I like all players anyway, but if it was a player I didn't like, I wouldn't boo them. Says, but they do it in a lot of other sports too. Yep, agreed. He says booers, yes, people that boo. Like boo, boo the chat. No, I'm just joking. Served on a tee from Chapo is in. Alcaraz misses the return. 15 love. He's found his mojo here. The second set. This is what we wanted to see. We wanted to see Shapovalov play, his higher level of tennis to really push Alcaraz, see what comes of it. And at the moment, he's stacking up pretty nicely. I mean, Alcaraz is definitely not playing his best level the second set, but Chapo's making him pay. That's what we like to see. Slice from Alcaraz down the middle. Slice from Chapo into the backhand corner. Into our forehand from Alcaraz. Then goes forehand cross. Slice from Shapovalov. Forehand into win from Alcaraz. Comes to the net. Slice from Chapo. It's a drop volley from Alcaraz. It's beautifully executed. Oh my gosh. Beautiful. Beautiful. Justonic says, awesome. The US Open has some crescendos over history of boos that changed the match. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of the boos. I'm not. That's just my personal opinion. Now, it's up to people whether they want to boo or not, but it's not something that I think is necessary. I do think it can be fun. Like people like Holger Rune love it. They don't care about being booed. To be fair, Djokovic in the past wouldn't care. It would actually fuel them. Would I? I probably wouldn't care, but there probably are players that can. And I get that why people don't want it to be allowed. Forehand cross from Chapo's missed with the backhand from Alcaraz. So 15-30. MJ says, no, the civilized sports like golf and tennis, you cannot do that. Good evening, Fazan says Matthew. Good evening, Matthew. How are you doing? 15-30. Alcaraz looking to get that break back. He's got a little inroad here at 15-30. This is a big, big game, you feel, because if Chapo holds 5-2, you have the feeling of, okay, he's probably going to take the set, but he gets broken back here, back on serve. It's a massive change. It's a big difference even. Backhand down the line from Chapo, then goes forehand into out, forehand down the middle from Alcaraz, slice from Alcaraz, forehand cross from Chapo, slice from Alcaraz down the line, forehand into out from Chapo, forehand down the line, or forehand cross from Alcaraz on the stretch. He misses it 30 all. Big point. Shapovalov comes up clutch. To be fair, very good from the Canadian. Held his nerve 30 all. No mistake. Jay says most sports that they do it in, it is team sports. When it's just one person out there alone, it feels different. Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point, I guess. And it says also heckling, cursing is not allowed in the US Open. Yeah. Guys, remember to that like button, please, as well. And do subscribe if you're new. 81% of you have gone for Alcaraz in the chat. In the YouTube chat. YouTube poll. Second serve here. This is a big point. Backhand from Alcaraz is in. Down the middle. Good pace on it as well. Backhand cross forehand from Chapo. Down the line goes Alcaraz. Backhand down the middle from Chapo. Backhand in the middle from Alcaraz. Backhand to backhand here. Down the line. Forehand cross though from Chapo into in from Alcaraz on the forehand side. Forehand cross has Chapo even on the stretch. Smash opportunity. Lets it bounce though, Alcaraz. and puts the forehand away down the line. Interesting choice. I think he was worried that he might miss a smash or the volley or drive volley, so he lets it bounce, gives himself time to gather himself, and wrong foot Shapovalov, 30-40 breakpoint opportunity here. Massive moment in this second set. Guys, keep the comments coming. I'm liking this debate in the chat. 30-40. Breakpoint opportunity. Serve out wide is in. Backhand is in from Alcaraz. Good depth. Forehand cross. Forehand is down the middle from Shapo. Then goes forehand cross. Alcaraz goes backhand down the line. Backhand down the line from Shapo. Backhand cross from Alcaraz. Massive. Slice from Shapovalov goes wide. He gets the break back. There's a fist bump from Alcaraz. He knows that's a big, big break to get back. And I'll tell you what. He'll be disappointed, Shapovalov. Didn't play that badly in that game, in honesty. Alcaraz stepped it up, I have to say. There weren't too many errors, too many uncharacteristic errors anyway. Errors that you would expect him to be a lot more solid on. I mean, that was just... that was a forced error, really, for that last point. So he's still up, though, 4-3. There's been quite a few breaks of serve in this second set, so it's definitely not a done deal that Alcaraz is going to level things up in this set to 4-all. But if he does, you feel like the momentum has shifted. We'll see what Shapovalov is made of in this return game coming up. Lexi says, I think English football has the most intense crowd. MJ says booing is fine, but not cursing. And also in other sports arenas, cursing someone out is not allowed. Lexi says, agreed, Jane. Jane says, I'm trying to think of an individual sport and not a team sport where booing is common. Yeah, that's a good point. They cheered Connors to the semis when he was 39. Just so he says, live golf is golf of blood. Such a random comment about golf. This isn't a golf channel. Lexi says the booing in Roland Garros is close to heckling. So, yeah, the French crowd go hard at the non-French players. Backhand is short from Chapo. The forehand missed from Alcaraz. It's easy forehand. Oh, dear. Look, I mean, to be fair, the Australian crowd... Is the Australian the US Open crowd? Not a fan. Sorry, Justini. I know you're American. They're pretty rowdy. I don't know. In my opinion, I actually think, even though it's an individual sport, I personally think you should be able to talk during the point. As long as you're if you're talking and just chatting amongst yourselves, I think it's fine, and cheering and stuff. I think you'd add to the atmosphere. I think it was Francis Tiafoe said they should do it. I agree. I think they should. Slice from Shapovalov, and it's a drop shot from Alcaraz, beautifully executed. We haven't seen many drop shot winners from Alcaraz in this set. He hasn't really gone to it too often, probably because Shapovalov hasn't given him the opportunity to go to it much. That time he did have it, though. 15-all. James says, yeah, I don't know if civilized is what I would call... what I would call it. Yeah, I don't like booing when players ask an umpire to check a marker if they simply show a little frustration, says Matthew. Yeah, agreed. Backhand on the line from Chapo. Backhand cross is in. Forehand cross from Alcaraz is deep into the corner. Backhand cross from the Spaniard. Forehand from Chapo down the line finds the net. 30-15. I think that's the other thing, actually, is why are they booing? If they're booing because someone's moaning to the umpire loads and, they're being disruptive or they're misbehaving, then okay, I can kind of maybe understand it. If they're just booing the other person because they are playing against the player that they are cheering for, that's a bit silly to me. That's very juvenile, in my opinion. Serve down the tee from Alcaraz. Backhand is missed from Chapo, 40-15. But, each their own. Justani says, guess who I am? I get booed and they don't like me and it's an attack and I'm hated and I'm the best. Talking about Djokovic. Djokovic only got booed once in my lifetime. Well, not in my lifetime. In the last few years, the only time I've seen Djokovic get booed is last year at Roland Garros against Nadal, and he hated it after. After he said Djokovic came out and hated it. He said, "Look, 99% of the crowd were cheering for Nadal. He wasn't happy about it. I mean, I think, and he's entitled to say that. He's won so many slams, I guess. But I guess the crowd is always going to be with Nadal. He's won Roland Garros so many times. He's probably just expecting it to be less, so I guess less dominated. He was probably expecting 75-80% in favor of Nadal, but probably wasn't expecting it to be like 1% in favor of him. Backhand on the line from Alcaraz here. He's got a game point here at 3-4. Very important. He levels things up. He's been behind this whole set. Goes drop shot. Shapo's going to get there, is he? He does. What a return drop shot. But Alcaraz somehow gets there as well. Dinks it down the line. Forehand from Shapovalov. And it's an instinctive volley from Alcaraz that's put away. Great point. Shapovalov did all he could in that point. Just too good from Alcaraz. Keeps his composure, keeps his cool. He does level things up. And I do think that the chance for Shapovalov to take this set, in my opinion, has gone. Because he had a really good chance at 4-2 up, serving for it. Alcaraz went through the gears, and Shapovalov, I think, not sure how much more he has to give, really. We'll see. Serve down the tee is a big one. I mean, if he serves like that, that will definitely help. Massive serve down the tee from the juice side. Alcaraz on the stretch, can't make it. 15 love, as he says, well, Chapo. Max says, a thought of mine tells me that Fazan is not a fan of Adele. Teach there. I am. I like Adele. Matthew says, I've been watching Hubi versus Varillas. The Peruvian has been incredible, clutch in the tiebreaker, and has now come out and won his service game to love. Very good. Nice. It's nice to see, and that's why people say about if you're good on one service, you should be good on all the other services. Her catch is a good example. He's not particularly good clay courter, I'll tell you that. But on grass, fast courts, very different. Oh, second serve is a double fault from Shapovalov. He's got to keep that. He's got to put that away. Can't be double faulting in big moments. Just then he says, McEnroe screamed his head off and involved the crowd and umpires and everything, and now defends poor whining Djokovic. Well, to be fair, Djokovic used to use the crowd to his advantage when they always used to, as you're saying here, they might not boo him, but they used to hum and crowds would never cheer him. And to be fair, he has had the short end of the stick because everyone would cheer Nadal and Federer because they came about first, and he didn't come from a rich family. And to be fair to him, he definitely had it tougher, I would say, in that aspect. And he used it to his advantage, though. He always had a chip on his shoulder, something to prove. And yeah, I think that's an impressive thing and trait about him, his fighting mentality. He's always had that. Anyway, 15-30 here, Shapovalov in trouble. Let first serve. We'll get to the rest of these questions. Keep them coming and comments. They're getting millions in pay and endorsements. Suck it up, Buttercups is just tiny. It doesn't mean that they should be mistreated, though. Just because you're paid for something doesn't mean you should get mistreated. I think everyone can agree who works. Second serve, backhand is in from Alcaraz, but the call is out. It looks like he could have served 2 double faults in this game, and he has. Oh, no. This is very reminiscent of the first set. And he served 2 double faults and gifted Alcaraz a break of serve. And it was actually a really poor moment. And he looks to his box and does this as if to say, I'm getting nervous. What am I getting so nervous for? It's not a good sign, to be honest with you. And he's not super young anymore, Shapovalov, either. So something that I don't know if it's ever going to get sorted, but it was a good serve, I thought. The call is out, though. He's going to go have a look. Alcaraz is showing the chair umpire the mark, and the mark is out, and Shapovalov looks disappointed. Very expressive, Shapovalov, let's say. Jerome says, I'm not sure if you've spoken about this already, but what do you make of the beef surrounding no women's being night session yet? We'll get to that. Second serve, forehand is in from Alcaraz. Forehand in to win from Shapo. Backhand cross from Alcaraz. Forehand is in from Shapovalov. Forehand in to win from Alcaraz. Backhand is in, is it? No, it's out from Shapovalov. He gets the break. Oh, wow. I mean, Alcaraz was 4-2 down. Looked like he could be 5-2 down with Shapovalov serving at 4-2 up. Instead, He has won the last 3 games. Alcaraz momentum is firmly with him at 5-4 here in the second set. Jerome says, not sure if you've spoken about this already, but what do you make of the beef surrounding no women's matches being the night session yet? Look, I mean, there's a couple of things here. So I don't know what I actually haven't looked at the ticket structure, so I don't know what the tickets are like. So if it's a case of you buy tickets specifically for the night session, I can maybe understand it. And I'll tell you why, right? Because they might be thinking, well, if they watch a ATP match, then they're going to get best of 5, so they're going to get guaranteed 3 sets at least. Obviously, with a women's match, if it's Swiatek, for example, in a night match, most likely she is going to win in straight sets, and she's probably going to win in an hour and 5 minutes. You don't really get a value for your money. They might be thinking that. Now, if it's not to do with that, and it's not to do with the structure, and like if you get a ticket for the whole day, then I don't understand it, because then there's no real reason, because the marquee players should be at the night. If it's not to do with you get tickets for the night session only, for example, like you do, because at Wimbledon, I know when I've been to Wimbledon in the past, you get a ticket and it's for the whole day. At the US Open, though, I know it's day and night session, and split. At Roland Garros is a bit different. You have all the matches played back to back, and then the night session it never starts any time before, I think it's 8:15 local time PM, right? Now, yeah, look, I mean, I would like to see some women's matches for the night session. I'm sure we will get at least one. I'd be surprised if we don't. This, in the next few days, you'd hope, but again, I don't know what the structure is around the ticket structure and how you can get tickets for it. If anyone knows, let me know. Backhand down the middle from Alcaraz, serving for the set here to go 2 sets of love up. He's 5-4 here. Sheriff says Djokovic has been disliked a lot. I agree. He also normally is the favourite to win a match, and crowds most often cheer for the underdog. Djokovic gets both, I think. Yeah, good point. I think the only thing about that, though, is that Nadal and Federer, they never would have. Normally, they would always get cheered, right? Or massive forehand and backhands from both players here. And Alcaraz goes huge with an into-out forehand, has Shapovalov on the stretch. It's an awkward one, really, really high topspin forehand with a lot of pace on it. Shapovalov can't get it back into play. 30 love. He's 2 points away here from the second set. Justini says Djokovic wants the same love the crowd gives Nadal and Fed. Yeah, agreed, yeah. Nadal and Federer would be loved as they are more than most in any field. They'd be loved more than Mr. Rogers or Pee Wee Herman with the kids. Don't know who those are, to be fair. So out wide from Alcaraz. Goes slice into the backhand corner. Slice down the line from Chapo. Slice from Alcaraz on the backhand side. Then goes drive backhand down the middle. Slice from Alcaraz is a drop shot. And Chapo can't get there. That's beautifully done. Interesting. Both players slicing a lot in that point. You don't see that very often on a clay court. Alcaraz gets it done, though. And he has 3 set points here. And he's turned this set around. I have to say, definitely aided by Shapovalov. The break of serve at 4-all, Shapovalov gifted it to him. 2 double faults. It's a gift. Serve out wide is out from Alcaraz. Second serve coming up here. He's got 3 set points here to go 2 sets of love up in this third round. Second serve is in. Backhand is a shank from Shapovalov out. He does take the set. Well, I didn't think it would be this close, but it was. Now, the third set, we'll see how it goes, but I reckon it's going to be more dominant from Alcaraz. 6-1, 6-4 as we go into the third set. Let's get to these comments. Jerome says, in my opinion, it's not a massive deal. I could be wrong, of course, but I believe you get a massive recovery benefit from normal scheduling and proper sleep, etc. Yeah, that's the one thing I would say is that, look, so the whole point of the night session, the reason why there's a lot of controversy surrounding the night session is that the night session is supposed to be the marquee match. So it's the match that Roland Garros and Amelie Mauresmo, as the director, are saying this is the marquee match of the day. Now, by not putting on a single women's match on the night session, you're basically saying, well, what is implied, I think, and what a lot of people are saying is that the women's matches are not as important as the men's, which isn't, of course, true. However, from a scheduling point of view, it's actually a lot better for the women because they get a lot more time to recover. If you're playing a 5-setter, for example, tomorrow Zverev versus Tiafoe, that could easily be a 5-setter. Now that's 5 sets. The person then who plays, it would be their 4th round match. They're at a disadvantage most likely compared to their opponent. But that's just how the scheduling goes. To be fair, as well, I think that's the other thing. It's a bit luck of the draw. Some players also do prefer playing in the evening. A lot prefer playing in the day. Swiatek actually said she doesn't care if she doesn't play in the evening because she loves playing in the day because it's a lot warmer. Like Nadal, she likes being able to hit with a lot of topspin, and the warmer conditions means that she gets a lot more purchase for her type of game. She gets a lot more advantage playing in the day, to be honest with you. So it's one of those things. Jerome says, yeah, good point about the money's worth 5 sets. Just Sunny says the night matches are getting controversial because they could be playing at 3 a.m. Point is they go very late. Yeah, so at Wimbledon they have a curfew, so you have to end at 11:30 p.m. So actually, I watched 2 years ago, day 2, and I saw Medvedev, Zverev, etc. And then I saw Kyrgios versus Umberna. That match was a 5-setter, but I only saw I saw 3.5 sets, or maybe even 4 sets of it, and then they had to stop. And they'd actually moved them from an outside court to court 1 because of the rain. So we got to see that, which is like a bonus. Justin says, so if you start a match at 9 and it goes 5 hours, you end up playing at 2 a.m. still. Yeah, but I mean that can happen. But that's just life, though. I mean, I don't know. Like, I do agree. I think it's better if what I would do, what I don't get. I don't know what you guys think about this. I would just have matches start earlier. Like, I don't get why the center court in every single slam has to start later. Why does it need to start 45 minutes or an hour later than the outside courts? Just start it at the same time, right? And on top of that, why not just have why not just start it an hour early? So rather than starting it, so I think they're starting it at 11 a.m. right? Start it at 10. Why is that an issue? And then run it through, and then don't have a night session. Just keep it running through the day, and we'll see how we get on. And that would definitely help anyway to some degree. Julio says Shapovalov number 1. Well, at the moment he's not. Just Sunny says they have to have a cutoff at 9 at the latest. So in terms of starting, I guess is what you're saying. I like Lorenzo's Nike kit of the white and green. Musetti, nice. How come warmer conditions give you more purchase and topspin? So no. So it doesn't give you more topspin. What it is, so with warmer conditions, the ball bounces more because, well, talking about, put my science hat on, kinetic energy, right? So the warmer conditions means, so you've got a tennis ball. Think about it. Jerome, you'll know because you play a bit of tennis as well. When the conditions are cold, when you go out and it's 1 degree and you try and bounce a tennis ball that barely bounces, go out and it's 30 degrees and you bounce it, it's like, shoulder height. So that's a big factor, of course, because clay, generally speaking, is, a really, really good, it's the best surface for hitting with a lot of topspin, a lot of coverage, depth, and getting a lot more pop off the surface. And then when you add the warmer conditions to it, then that adds to it. When it's colder, it still pops off, but just not as much as it would do. And of course, the pace isn't quite there as well. Normally, in warmer conditions, the courts play slightly quicker. Colder conditions slows down a little bit. Again, kinetic energy. Maxis Musetti didn't have the best year in the beginning, but it's nice that he's made it into the 4th round. Agreed. Just says Rublev is out. He is out, yeah. Rublev lost to Sonego in 5 sets. It was definitely, in my opinion anyway, it was on the cards, I thought, just because Sonego is a good player. He's very, very good. Jerome says, yeah, matches starting earlier makes sense. Yeah. Really, Rublev is out. That's mad. Thought his form was strong. He started off well in the clay court swing win Monte Carlo, but didn't play too amazingly well in Rome. And that Rome plays the most similar to Roland Garros. Madrid is almost an anomaly. It's actually quite quick because of the altitude. So for big servers, it's pretty good, to be honest with you. Which like Sabalenka, of course, won it. We'll see how she gets on at Roland Garros. She's playing pretty well, to be fair. Jerofine says, yeah, Rublev is out, a sad sight. Justani says, lots of top contenders are out, including Medvedev. Yep. Oh, well, thanks for the explanation. That's really interesting how temperature has this kind of impact on bouts, etc. Says Jerome, no problem. When you play, Jerome, and when you play actually in future as a recreational player, bear that in mind. So if you go out and you play and it's a bit colder, you'll notice the ball doesn't come through as much, doesn't bounce as much. Makes a difference. People use it to their advantage as well. When it's a lot colder, people might slice and dice a bit more. Or good serve from Shapovalov. And it gets the short return, goes backhand cross for the approach, comes to the net. Alcaraz misses the pass by quite a bit and goes wide with the forehand. 15-love. Alcaraz, of course, looking to wrap this up in straight sets. Shapovalov will be looking to mount a comeback here. Matthew says, looking at the order of play, my main focus will be the first few matches on Suzanne Longland and then Zverev versus Tiafoe. I think Zverev versus Tiafoe will be great. Justani says, I like the cold. You can just wind up and swing hard. Yeah, because the ball doesn't go through the air as quickly, does it as well? Yeah, that's a good point. Or when the wind is blowing against you, if the wind's blowing against you, then you can just hit the ball as hard as you want and it just holds up in the wind anyway. Double fault from Shapovalov again. 7th double fault of the day. Jerome says, I'm playing a mate tomorrow. Time for me to get my topspin game on if the weather is decent. Yeah. Serve into the body from Shapovalov. Backhand is missed from Alcaraz. Jerome, if you want free tips, which I'm happy to give you, just send me a message. Oh, you've got my number actually, anyway, on WhatsApp. So, I'm happy to. I'm a club player, so I'm not like, but I play pretty decent level. But the advice I give is a lot better. I always say it's much easier to coach and give advice than actually take it yourself. And I've given advice to a few people. And Venu actually, I taught him how to play initially and got him to a certain level, but he's improved a lot since then as well. Into in forehand from Shapovalov. Forehand is in. Into in forehand from Alcaraz. Slice defensively from Chapo. Forehand into out from Alcaraz. He approaches the net. Smash opportunity. No. Doesn't make its way over the net. Max says Jerome definitely seems like an OG subscriber. Yeah, Jerome's been here for a while, yeah. Justani says you never know what you'll get from Shapovalov. He had Joker on the ropes a couple of years ago. Yeah. No problem, Jerome. Yeah, I'll send you. I'll drop you one now. I've sent you a message, Jerome. So, well, if you change numbers, I don't know where to get to you. I guess WhatsApp it automatically does it, doesn't it? Yeah. Serve is long from Shapovalov. 30-40. Early breakpoint opportunity in this third set from. This is not good for Shapovalov. If he gets broken here, then it can only go downhill, you feel. So that wide is in. Is it? Nope. It's out. Serve is long from Shapovalov. Massive double fault. This is absolutely huge. It almost looked like he just went for his first serve for his second serve. That is absolute madness. That breakpoint down. Wild from Shapovalov. 1-love Alcaraz in this third set. He's a breakup straight away. And after a very, very entertaining second set, really hard fought, Shapovalov was actually 4-2 up, serving for 5-2. Lost 3 games in a row, got broken. Crazy. Crazy. Justin says you never know what you'll get from Shapovalov. He had Joker on the ropes and a couple of years ago in a major, at Wimbledon. Yeah, he did. I mean, he could have won that. He should have won that, to be honest. He was playing some really good. That's probably the best level of tennis he's played in his career, in my opinion. That was Wimbledon 2021. I saw him that year. He was playing really well. His toss was still all over the place, still served double faults, but his consistency in his ground game was there. A lot less errors, a lot more calculated in his aggression as he shanks the backhand return. 15 love Alcaraz. It's just a shame that we don't get to see him play more consistently. And he hit that double fault in the previous game, and he just shook his head walking back to his chair as if to be like, "Oh, well, it's over." And it's almost like he's thought to himself, oh, "I've lost this now." I feel like in 4-2 in that second set, I feel like he was starting to believe. Then he got, as soon as Alcaraz came back and won the second set, he's like, I feel like he's almost mentally checked out. And I feel like his biggest issue is actually up here. It really is. And most players, anyone, if you ask, who's an elite sportsman, says 90% of it, for the most part, is all to do with the mental aspect. As it's another error from Shapovalov into that on the backhand, 30 love. Matthew says, Fazan, who do you favour winning the bottom quarter? Could it be Sabov, Ward, Zverev, Dimitrov? So many options. Yeah, I know. Talk about it. Forehand cross from Alcaraz is massive. Wowzers. Put away. Shapovalov, the backhand wasn't good enough right at Alcaraz, and he makes him pay 40 love. And he's just starting to cruise here now, Alcaraz. I would love Sabov to get. I love his forehand. Looks really good. Zverev, I haven't seen a huge amount of Zverev. I've only seen highlights. I've seen very small bits of his matches so far this Roland Garros. I mean, tomorrow will be a big test. I think if he beats TFO in straight sets, I think he then is the favourite to win that quarter, because I think that shows that he's playing some good tennis. TFO is no pushover on clay. Second serve is coming up for Alcaraz here. Justani says, this more than any year is the changing of the guard thing means something for the big three. Nadal serious injury and a few with Djokovic, but then they just go off and win a string of majors. Yeah, that's the thing. We'll have to see. Double fault from Alcaraz. First of the day, 40-15. He's taking tips from Shapovalov. Looks like on his serve. Look, I mean, we'll see. I think I can only truly say there's a change of guard if there is a year where Nadal and Djokovic don't win a single slam. So, and it could happen. Well, it hasn't. It won't happen this year. Djokovic won Australian Open. So we're now looking at 2024, in my opinion. The only time, in my opinion, we can really truly say, okay, change of the guard is when all 4 slams in a year are not won by any of the big 3. We know it's not going to be Federer now. Nadal is going to be unlikely. Maybe next year, of course, but this year looks unlikely. And then Djokovic, he's winning slams. I mean, he won the Australian Open, so he won the last one. As Shapovalov slices long, so 2 love. Alcaraz does consolidate the break. Matthew says Shapo didn't really come in believing he'd win. His best form wouldn't be enough, but he's nowhere near his best. So to be fair, Matthew, in that second set, when he went 4-2 up, he was playing close to his best level, I think. I think he did think he could win, but I think you're right. I think he suffers from a crisis of confidence. I think his mental fortitude, he doesn't have mental fortitude, in my opinion. I think his mental strength is a lot weaker than a lot of the players. And I do think if he had the type of mental strength that an Alcaraz, a Djokovic, and Nadal, for example, had, he has the game to beat anyone. He does, but a lot of it is stringing it together. And stringing that together comes with this and having the composure and the conviction to play a certain way. And he wants to play that attacking brand of tennis, that's fine. Make it work. I mean, his toss is one thing and double faults, that's a technical thing. But a lot of his game, I think, is more mental than anything. As he misses an easy backhand, 15-all. Max, I really thought Shapo had potential when he reached the semis in Wimbledon. Agreed. Yeah, I thought that would be a platform for him to springboard off. Instead, he did the opposite. Justani says nobody will pay any attention. Every major has a different champion. You need dominant champions like Sampras or Borg or the big 3. I don't think he'll be a different champion every slam. I think Alcaraz, well, it doesn't matter if it's every slam, as long as you have a group winning multiple slams, which I think will happen, as Alcaraz goes cross-court with the forehand, into out forehand miss from Shapovalov, 15-30. Looks like Alcaraz could have another chance to get a break here. Shapovalov's level has dipped big time. Matthew says praying that Musetti actually gives Alcaraz a test worthy of Roland Garros encountering. Agreed, yeah. First 3 matches Alcaraz has played haven't been worthy of a sparring partner. I think Musetti will. He beat Alcaraz on clay last year, and yes, it was a best of 3 match, but I think even best of 5, I think he'll push him. Backhand down the middle from Alcaraz is missed, 30 all. And I think it's to do with the one-hander. Musetti's one-hander gives Alcaraz issues. The backhand to backhand, he's not going to be able to bully Musetti in that. That's going to be interesting. It will be interesting. I hope we see it. I really do. It looks like we probably will. Did Musetti beat Nori then? I haven't seen the scores. Second serve, forehand is in from Alcaraz down the middle, then goes forehand into out. Massive forehand into out. Forehand from Shapovalov was good defensive forehand deep into play, but then goes loopy backhand volley from Alcaraz. Second volley is put away as Shapo gets the first one. He's not giving up by any stretch, but his level has dipped. He's fighting, to be fair. He's chasing down every ball. Alcaraz is just playing too well at the moment. Well, Alcaraz is playing too well for this level of Shapo at the moment, that's for sure. Justani says, I mean, Alcaraz and Medvedev both have the personality of an eggplant, the sports intro. Oh, that's harsh. No, I disagree. Justani, Medvedev, his personality is fantastic. He's not boring at all, Medvedev. You need to watch more Medvedev interviews if you think he's boring. He's not. He's brutally honest. He's great to listen to. Into out forehand from Alcaraz. Forehand cross from Shapo. Into out from Alcaraz. Finds the net. So break point saved. Courtesy of a mistake from Alcaraz. Max says Musetti's best results is reaching the 4th round 2 times at the French Open. I hope he can reach the quarters and further beyond. Second serve coming up here after Shapo finds the net with the first serve. Yeah, we'll see. Well, to reach the quarters and beyond, you'll have to be Alcaraz. By the looks of it, double fault from Shapo. I mean, come on. Give it a rest. I mean, I say give it a rest. You know what? I've gone through this in the past before. And serving multiple double faults in a match, you just want to crawl inside a little hole and just hide. It's not nice. And when you get to a stage where you actually get scared and get afraid of serving your second serve because you think you're going to double fault, that's when it is like, okay, I'm gone here. Backhand to backhand here, down the line, massive into out forehand from Shapo, and the slice from Alcaraz does find the net. It is juice. Just like says, Nadal, Federer, and Djokovic have huge drawing personalities despite their conservative demeanor. I think Alcaraz and Medvedev do, to be fair. Jerome says, is there a case he made that the idea of a big 3 is more rare than we think? The game changes a lot and has changed quite a bit since the rise of the big 3. No, it is rare. Jerome, it is very rare. It's very rare to have a big 3. Not like no 3 players have been as dominant as Nadal, Djokovic, and Federer. That is an anomaly. We will not, in my opinion, we will not see that again in our lifetime. You never saw it in tennis anyway before that. You saw players dominating, but not to that degree. As Shapovalov makes the mistake on the backhand into the net. Break point opportunity number 3 here for Alcaraz. 2-love here looking to get the double break. Justani says, I may be wrong. Sorry, no problem. It's fine. It's all good. Serve is good from Shapo. Massive backhand cross for the +1 shot. Alcaraz defending well on the forehand. I thought he clipped the baseline, but it is long. So juice. Save 3 break points he's fighting. Jerome says, could the idea of different champions point towards a talent pool growing? I think it's more to do with the fact that the big 3 are getting old, in all honesty. Because they transcend the generations. Backhand down the middle from Alcaraz. They're the 3 best players to ever play, in my opinion. So, forehand down the line from Shapo's massive forehand from Alcaraz. Drop shot from Shapovalov is too good. What a drop shot. What a drop shot from Shapo. Advantage to the Canadian. But yeah, I think it's more to do with the fact that those 3 have gotten older. Because, look, I mean, Wawrinka and Murray, if they were at their prime playing in this crop of players, they'd win more than 3 slams. If they're in their prime, that is. They're not now, right? They're old. Justani says, did he recently knock out someone, Musetti? I think Nadal and the Aussie. No, he knocked out. So Nadal was injured for the Australian Open. He knocked out Djokovic in Rome. Massive serve out wide from Shapo. Backhand miss from Alcaraz. Is a massive scream of come on from Shapovalov. He knows that's important because he gets broken here. 3-love, double break. Alcaraz is cruising this set. I think he still will cruise the set, but he's in touching distance. 2-1 here, serving for 3-1. Justini says there was sort of a big three when Borg, Connors, and when McEnroe won a few. There was Lendo in there too. That's what I mean, right? But then there's Lendo in there too, right? That's the thing. And then he threw in a couple of others, and yeah. Goes, is it me, or are the matches today mostly kind of ho-hum? Ho-hum, ho-hum? No, it's ho-hi, isn't it? No, is it ho-hum? I don't know. It's off to work we go. Anyway, Casey says, I think the personalities come out over time. Yeah, agreed. Casey says, yeah, you missed your girl. JPEG losing Ghost. Yeah, I mean, Ghost, you must be absolutely over the moon that Jessica Pegula's lost. Poor girl. Jerome says, yeah, good point. Yeah. Ghost says, I'm really not a fan of clay. I know you hate the clay, don't you? You hate this red dirt. It's red dirt. What's wrong with it? What's wrong with it, Ghost? I can see all the American subscribers are loving Anthony. Look at you guys sticking to your people, loving the American. No, he's good though. Anthony's a really good commentator. Great to have him on board as well. He's a really good addition, I think. Good energy. Loved Monfils. I think if Monfils manages to play Wimbledon or the US Open as well, got to get him on. He loves Monfils. Goes to some thrilled baba JPEG. Ta-da. No, when Nadal plays, it's a bloody scratch and claw event for the fans. I don't know. Forehand cross. It depends. It depends on your opinion, right? It depends on what you like watching. Like Gosi obviously just doesn't like the brand of tennis or how the courts play. Probably, I'm assuming, likes the fast-paced courts and matches that we see, which is fair enough as well. I think each surface has its nuances. 15-love second serve here. Alcaraz serving for 3-1. Forehand is in from Shapo. Cross court then goes backhand down the middle. Backhand cross from Alcaraz is massive. Slice is a defensive slice from Shapo. Drop shot from Alcaraz. Shapo read it but doesn't get there, I don't think. Yeah, he doesn't. It's a double bounce. So 30-love. I mean, even though it was a bit telegraphed, that drop shot was just so good that Shapo doesn't get there. As I like to say, Fazan special, not bigging up my drop shot whatsoever by saying that. Ghost says, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Oh my god. Ghost has a lot of hate for Jessica Pegula. Just Daddy says Djokovic's matches are ho-hum. What part of US is Anthony in? Georgia. Yeah. Or drop volley is unbelievable from Alcaraz. Or forehand from Alcaraz for the +1 shot is not put away. Good serve down the tee it was. Gets an easy short ball to attack. Clips top of the net cord. Drifts long. So 40-15. Just something says one more healthy Djokovic Nadal in any major. Mano would be nice. I agree. Yeah, for sure. Jerome says, all right, definitely the wrong place for this, but I scored that fine favor. Lomachenko, so peak for that card. Yeah, wrong place. Backhand down the middle from Alcaraz, good depth. Then goes backhand on the line again. Backhand cross from Shapo. Forehand down the line from Alcaraz. On the stretch goes Shapo with a forehand cross. Good defensive play here from the Canadian. Slice is good as well. Great depth. here. I have to say he's got to neutral here beautifully. Forehand from Alcaraz into win. Slice from Shapo on the defensive. Alcaraz goes into the net. That is really good hustle from Shapovalov. He hustled big time there. And the quality of his defense, impressive, I have to say. 18 shots. Is that 18 shots? Is that right? That's probably one of the longest rallies we've seen, to be honest. But I spent a night in the ATL smoking lounge once. Never heard of that. I'll tell you what, that is impressive. Though Shapovalov defending, but defending deep into corners. Alcaraz, he actually had a really easy put away to a short ball, puts it into the net with a forehand. 40 love to 40-30. This game could become problematic if Alcaraz isn't careful. Or slice from Shapo into the net, though. Massive into-in forehand from Alcaraz. And he does hold, so 3-1. Justani says nobody dives anymore is one thing. Becker dove for anything and everything. Even Mac and Connors used to go all out and dive for reachable balls. Monfils does, or used to anyway. Songa used to as well. They used to throw their racket at it as well. It's hilarious. Casey says it was in the airport, missed my layover. Also, Davidovich Fekina does it. He dives a lot, and he gets injured a lot diving as well. I think he stopped doing it recently. Serve into the body of Alcaraz. Backhand into win. Beautiful backhand return. The forehand from Shapo. He got there with enough time, to be fair, but whips it wide. So love 15. Oh, good serve down the tee from Alcaraz. Slice as he approaches the net. And the forehand from Shapo is dumped into the net. So love 30. Alcaraz really pushing here. Justani says Monfils is injured. Yeah, he won the first match. It was an epic against Sebastian Baez. 4-love down on the final set. Came back to win it 7-5. But then had to retire before the Runa match, which would have been entertaining with a wrist injury. So out wide from Shapo, then goes into in massive forehand, and it's a good get from. Oh, it's a great get from Alcaraz, but what a miss from Shapovalov. Takes a forehand on the drive volley. He's literally hit that. I think he's almost hit that into the crowd. He has hit that so long. I mean, ridiculous. Thing is, when he misses, he doesn't just miss. Sometimes when he misses, it's just like, I can't believe he's missed that much. Right, 2 break point opportunity here for Alcaraz to go 4-1 up here. Cases Atlanta, Georgia, yeah. Shame about Nori and the Brits. What's the future for the Brits, do you reckon, says Jerome? We'll get to that in a second. What a return for Alcaraz. Oh my gosh, what a return. Serve into the backhand. The backhand is a return winner down the line. He breaks to love. 4-1 Alcaraz here. He is now cantering to victory here. He's 2 games away. Jerome says, shame about Nori and the Brits. What's the future for the Brits, do you reckon? I mean, look, Nori is solid. I think he's going to be there or thereabouts. He's going to always be, he made a semi-final last year at Wimbledon. I can see him regularly going, pretty deep. I think he'll make a few more second weeks in his career. I can't see him winning a slam, but could I see him making a final? If the draw is kind to him and there's upsets, it can happen. It could happen. But I can't ever see him winning one. I don't think he has that level, in my opinion. But you never know. Jack Draper is. I'm pretty high on Jack Draper. I think he's got a lot of ability. He's suffered a little bit with cramping and his body as well. Quite a few injuries. If he stays fully fit for a pretty long stretch of time, I think he will progress pretty substantially, because he has been the last couple of years progressing anyway pretty substantially. And I think he's got the weapons to succeed, especially on grass and the faster courts. But we'll see. On the women's side, Raducanu, obviously we know that's we're not really sure what's going to happen, whether she's won a slam, but is she going to be able to reach those heights again. It's kind of question mark. She's still very young. Good serve out wide from Alcaraz. Backhand is in from Chapo. Forehand down the line from Shapovalov. Forehand on the line from Alcaraz. Cross court goes Chapo, clips the baseline, steps in, goes backhand on the line. Backhand from Alcaraz into out forehand of Chapo. Forehand in the middle from Alcaraz. Forehand missed from Alcaraz, trying to go into out. And 15 love. But yeah, I think that, yeah, in terms of other women, Katie Bolt is decent. Oh, Katie Swan, who else? What's her name? I've forgotten her name. I've forgotten the current one, number one. I've forgotten her name. Drop shot into the net from Alcaraz. Jodie Burrage, that's it. She's pretty solid as well. We'll see how she gets on the grass. But the men, I think, probably slightly stronger than the women at the moment for the Brits anyway. Justani says the women's game is so weird now, no clear dominating champion. It's not weird, I love it. So last year, of course, Iga was. Now this year we've got three. We've got Swiatek, Rybakina, and Sabalenka, almost a big three, if you will. Just obviously they have to do it for a few years, but this year it is those three. Good serve out wide from Alcaraz, massive forehand down the line for the +1 shot, 30-15. He's just going through the gears here, cruising in this set so far. He's had to dig deep in a few exchanges with Shapovalov, who's definitely pushed him in some areas, but Alcaraz has come out quite impressively, I have to say. Drop shot from Alcaraz. Chapo gets there, dinks it wide. Max says Emma could have been the British invasion in tennis. You know what though, Max? She played like half a season the year she won the US Open. She's always going to struggle, even if she stayed fully fit. It's all to do with form. And look, she's still very young, so I think give her some time, and we'll see where she gets on. But yeah, good serve, great return though from Chapo, and he's all over the place here. In a good way at the net, but Alcaraz, he wrong foots him with a dink down the line. Chapo fighting hard, but it's just not enough. 5-1 Alcaraz, and he's one game away from the fourth round here, and it would set up a mouth-watering match against Lorenzo Musetti. I mean, who doesn't want to watch that? Jerome says, yeah, Draper seems like he's got mad weapons. Agreed. What's Ons Jabeur saying these days, says Jerome. So Ons Jabeur won yesterday, so she should be playing tomorrow, and she's playing... she's a favourite in that match. She's playing against... I'll tell you now. She is playing against Danilovic. Should win that. Second serve from Chapo is serving to stay in the match at 5-1 down. Massive forehand on the line from Alcaraz. Oh, wow. Takes the forehand on the rise. Vintage Alcaraz. Love 15. Yeah, some great... I mean, the match that I think is the best in terms of how competitive it's going to be is Coco Gauff versus Andreeva, the 16-year-old, who's really exciting right now. She had a great run in Madrid. She's so good on clay. She's got really high confidence. I think that could be a close one. Good serve from Chapo. Forehand miss from Alcaraz. Goes wide, 15-all. Justani says, well, no bagel yet. That's as bagel as you can get without being bageled. Talking about this set, you will see. Chapo still here, still serving. So forehand is out from Alcaraz. So 2 returns missed. 30-15. There you go. See? Not over yet. Just out of curiosity, I've always wondered if people that watch these live commentaries also watch the game on mute, or if they use these commentaries a bit like radio, where they're chilling or on the go, etc. I think it's actually a mixture of all of those. Oh, really good from Chapo out wide. Backhand cross from Alcaraz. Forehand behind Alcaraz from Shapovalov is beautifully struck. It's a winner, 40-15. But I know some people are watching the match and they've muted it, the commentary, and they're listening to me. And then there's also, or whoever else commentating. I also know some people are on the go, so they just want someone who's got just a descriptive way of talking and commentating on the match and doing play-by-play. And then there's other, and as you said, it's more like radio. And there's other people that obviously just want to get involved in the chat as well. So I think it's a mixture from what I know and what people tell me. Forehand down the middle from Alcaraz. Massive forehand from Shapo down the middle. Clips the baseline. Missed backhand from Alcaraz. A bit of a gift there, I have to say, from Alcaraz. 3 unforced errors. And Shapovalov does hold. So 5-2. Alcaraz will serve for the match. Justani says, I watch and do this. Often the commentary is a different game than I'm watching. Yeah, that's the thing. I think the commentary on TV, because they know that people are watching, they're not as descriptive, and also I feel like sometimes they don't go as deep into the technical analysis as you might like at times, because obviously they're catering for a very broad audience. Whereas I do feel like here you can talk in a more technical aspect, and actually if people don't understand, obviously you've got the ability for people to ask in the chat, and then I can try and explain it, and I think that's great. Like Jerome was asking about, why are conditions different in cold conditions and warm conditions, and I could talk about it. Whereas you don't get that, of course, when you're watching a broadcaster, of course. Jerome says, always read rated radio tennis commentators on YouTube for that matter. The high pace and precision of description is a skill. Very good point about the lack of technical analysis. And also, of course, on these channels, like I do, of course, these live streams, and I try to give a bit of technical analysis whilst I'm commentating, but I also will be coming up now, given the matchups that are coming, but I'll be doing match previews, and I go into real detail and preview them. I don't feel like they have the same thing there. So that wide from Alcaraz, then goes forehand on the line. Doesn't come to the net. I thought he was going to approach. He doesn't. Backhand in the middle from the Spaniard. Then shanks the forehand wide. Tried to whip it. Buggy whip, Nadal-esque type forehand, but frames it. So love 15. Jerofine says, I usually watch the game with ambient sound and listen to Fazan's commentary. Very nice. Like the ambient sound. That's good. It's a good setting to have, isn't it? Love 15 here. Alcaraz, of course, looking to serve it out, but Shapovalov's fighting, although maybe I jinxed him. It's a good serve into the body. Shapovalov slaps the forehand into the net. Jerome says ambient sound as well. Man's living in 4D. Yeah, exactly. Alfredo with the full stop. Does that mean that you are supporting Alcaraz and you're like, game over? Alcaraz is winning. Maybe. Serve into the forehand of Shapovalov is long. Second serve coming up. Guys, remember to that like button, please, if you haven't done so already, and do subscribe if you're new. Appreciate it. Forehand is in from Alcaraz. Beautiful shape on it as well. A lot of air. Great topspin though and pace. And he pushes Shapovalov back, who has to defend. The forehand from Shapo finds the net. 30-15. 2 points away here. 2 points away. Carlos Alcaraz. Backhand from Alcaraz into the forehand of Shapovalov. Shapo sticking cross court. Backhand on the line from Alcaraz though. Backhand cross from Shapo. Forehand is in from Alcaraz. Then goes forehand into out. Forehand is shanked from Shapovalov wide. And that means 2 match points here for Carlos Alcaraz to make his way into the 4th round and set up a mouth-watering encounter with Lorenzo Musetti. British commentary is sports is so conservative forgiving. Oh, just tiny. So that wide backhand is in from Shapo. Forehand into out is absolutely blazed wide from Alcaraz. He's got a bit wild with that one. 40-30, 1 match point saved. Really 1 match point missed out, you'd say, from Alcaraz. I don't think Shapovalov really earned that. Me saying that he saved it. 1 more match point here at 40-30. Alcaraz wants to get back into the changing rooms. Good serve down the tee. Backhand is in. Good depth from Shapo. Then goes into in. Backhand cross from Alcaraz. Has Shapovalov on the stretch on the forehand. Then goes backhand down the middle. Comes to the net. And the backhand is missed from Shapovalov trying to pass Alcaraz in the net. He gets it done 6-1, 6-4, 6-2. And a very good victory. And by the way, her catch and Verilas is still going on. They're in a fifth set, 1-1 in the fifth. But an impressive victory from Alcaraz. Got it done. I mean, I think he was expected to win in straight sets. And Justine says here, well, Shapovalov is not a clay guy, right? I think he's not. I don't know. I think I would argue his best surface is probably grass, potentially. But he's an all-courter. He's an all-court player. I would just say maybe slightly worse on the clay. But he's got the game for it. Justine says Djokovic was not a clay guy for the longest time, but he caught on. Yeah. And Djokovic definitely did, yeah. And Djokovic is now, you could argue top 5 clay courter of all time. That's how good he's been. And he's played in an era with Nadal, who's the best clay courter of all time. He would have won a lot more Roland Garroses. He lost a lot of finals to Nadal. And same with Federer as well, to be honest with you. I mean, people don't realize how good those two are on clay. It's just because Nadal's there, but they're very good on clay. But guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Appreciate it. Remember to keep an eye out for and do make sure you tune in for my daily roundup, which is less than 10 minutes. I go through all the results for the day, a little bit of analysis, and also give you my player of the day. I also then will talk about tomorrow's matches and briefly give you guys my predicted winner for each one as well. So keep an eye out for that. Justine says he's still young, but my God, is Alcaraz a teenager? He's not. He's 20, so he's just become a man. What, if anything, would you do to make tennis more exciting to watch? Says Jerome. I think the crowd. I think the crowd should be able to speak. I think that atmosphere would help, in my opinion. I think it'd be. I would enjoy it. I think it brings a different element as well. It gives the players something else to deal with. I think, given now that there's on-court coaching, that has almost taken away one of the tests that a player would have, because you can rely and you can have your team as a crutch. Whereas with the crowd, I feel like that adds a spanner into the works, which I think would be quite good, in my opinion. Jerry says, I hope Alcaraz is going to wipe the floor with Djokovic. Justine says he will. I don't know. I don't know about that. We'll see. He's got a tough match against Musetti. And if he was to beat Musetti, Alcaraz has got the hardest route, by the way. He's got Musetti. If he beats Musetti, and that could go 4 or 5 easily, even if he was to win. He's got Tsitsipas. That could easily go 4 or 5. And then you'd have Djokovic. It's a tough route. Jerome says, thanks, man. Thank you, son. Thanks. Fine, Max, Jerome, appreciated. See you guys later. Hopefully see you tomorrow for a stream. And of course, we'll see you. I'll be doing some previews now with some of the 4th round matches coming up. They're too good not to preview, so look out for those videos as well. Thank you very much, guys. Stay safe and well. We will see you on the next video.